What's up, everybody? My name is Key Air, and you are watching The Important Things That Really Matter. Should you date a person that's in a lot of debt? Specifically talk about the subject of credit card debt. Not only are we going to be talking about the subject of credit card debt, we're going to talk about the credit card trap and how people get caught up in the credit card trap. And towards the end, I'm going to get some solutions to your problems to help you to get out of some credit card traps or credit card debts and stuff. So one of the things that you need to do is, since a lot of parents do not teach their children about money, a whole lot of parents do not teach their children about money. Go get your children, especially if they're teenagers, get your teenagers, pause the video, bring them in so they can sit down and watch the video also share the video with numerous people, because many parents do not teach their children, do not teach their teenagers about money. Pause the video, come on back. Also too, please like, please share the video, and please subscribe. And this is one of the videos that's going to save you a bunch of money. With anything, it's not going to be easy, but you're going to feel real good when you're able to get yourself out of the debt. So anyway, let's get into it. Should you date somebody in a lot of credit card debt? Interesting question. I think you know the question. There's nothing wrong with necessarily dating somebody that's in credit card debt, because most times you're not even going to know if the person's in credit card debt or not. But if it is somebody that you are thinking about having a long-term relationship with, or if it's somebody, long-term relationship with or marriage, this is something you're going to have to take into consideration tremendously. And the dating process is preparing you for a long-term relationship or even a marriage with somebody. And this is some information that you need to know, is how much credit card debt that they're in. Well, first of all, how do people get caught up in credit card debt to begin with? Some of the reasons, or some of the ways in which people get caught up in the credit card debt or credit card trap, is as soon as people turn around about 18 years old, the credit card companies just send credit card applications out left and right. If you're 18 years old, do not be surprised if you go into the mail this week and here's an application for a credit card, and you go into the mail the next week and there's an application for a credit card, and you'll get credit card applications on a regular basis. Not only will you get credit card applications on a regular basis, the people who they really and truly hit really, really hard is the colleges and the universities. And I don't have no proof, but I truly believe that a lot of colleges and universities be letting the credit card companies know the students that they have at their college or university. Because when I was going to a university I went to, I was getting credit card applications left and right. It seemed like almost every week I was getting a credit card application. And so this is the start of how you get caught up into this credit card trap. And the trap can be so brutal that you may get so far in credit card debt that you may not even be able to get out of it. So we're going to go into this. So part of the trap is they keep sending you these credit cards every week, every other week. Every month you're getting credit card applications and somebody may have even talked to you about leaving credit cards alone, until one day you might be in need of something and you finally look in the mail one day and here's a credit card application. And for the last year or so, you left credit cards alone, but now you're in the need. Now you're like, hey, I can use this credit card to get myself out a little bit of debt. It's a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap. So you open it up and you decide, okay, you're going to get a credit card. And then people tell you about, oh, you need to build a credit history. Well, there's some truth that you need to build a credit history. Most definitely. You need to build a credit history, but you don't need to build a credit history and find yourself in a whole lot of debt. But we're going to talk about that a little bit later. Is that you fill out a credit card application. Of course, you're not reading all the fine print. And I'm going to tell you about some of the fine print that you're not reading. Number one, that you may not see clearly that they're going to charge you a late fee of $25 or $35 every time you're late on your credit card. If you pay it a little bit late, they're going to charge you a $25 or $35, more like $35 late fee. And it may have even went up since the time I had a credit card. I don't have a credit card right now. So, and that's on purpose. But anyway, So if you pay that, if something happens, you send your credit card application, your payment in for that month, they're going to have a minimum monthly payment that you're going to have to pay per month. And if you send that in, if something happens in the mail system or so, and they get it, it gets to the credit card company, it gets to them late, or even if you sent it late and it gets to them late, your next bill that you get for the next month, they're going to be hitting you with a $35 late fee. Not only is there a little $35 late fee, which you may not have even known about until after you get hit with the late fee, they always start out saying, yes, we have a low monthly interest rate, and the interest rate may be 3 or 4%. Well, that's part of the trap. 3 or 4%, 8%. This is part of the trap. You're like, wow, this is a low interest rate. Well, see, what you didn't read in the fine print, you know, that fine print, which is so small that you need to have an electron microscope to be able to read what it is. Well, in that really, really small print, you're going to find out that that low interest rate that you got in the beginning, if you're late 2 or 3 times, that interest rate can go from 2, 3, 4, 8% to 20%, 18%, 25%, 28%. How do I know that? That happened to me personally from personal experience. I had a credit card, got a little bit behind, or, you know, things be going on in your life. You might send stuff in late, and I get hit with a $35 late fee. One day, I happened to look at my credit card statement. When I looked at my credit card statement, the credit card statement has stated my interest rate was 28%. Let me say that again. 28%. Let me say that again. 28%. You might as well say 30%. I didn't even know that it was even legal that a credit card company can charge you 28%. I didn't even know if it was even legal for that to even happen. Because you know, you ever heard of what they call loan sharks? The loan sharks are people that's out in the community that charges 25% interest. So they always would say a quarter on the dollar. Well, I didn't even think banking institutions or credit card institutions would even be able to charge you 28%. Well, it did on my credit card. And my goal and objective at that particular point in time was do anything and everything that I need to do to pay this credit card up, chop it off, and don't even do no more business with that particular credit card company. So I talked about 2 things, how they grab you. Number 1, they grab you with your age. They grab you, especially if you're in a college or university, sending you credit cards all the time in the mail. They hit you with late $35 late fees, and they might even be more than $35. They hit you with not only the late fees, the low interest rate, which jumps up to a high interest rate. Now, if you knew that they were going to charge you a high interest rate, you wouldn't have got the credit card to begin with. And if I knew that that was written in the real small fine print for the credit card, I wouldn't have got the credit card myself either. I was completely shocked when I looked at the statement and said that I will now be paying 28% interest on what I owed them. And I made the mistake of running my credit card up to $2,000. I was messed up. I was real messed up because I'm like, $2,000? Oh, 28% interest? Oh, it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. And then I found out that there were people that were in more credit card debt than I was in. So anyway, can you imagine paying almost 30% interest on $2,000? And so my goal and objective, once I seen that credit card statement, my goal and objective was to pay that card off as fast as possible and to cut that card off and leave it alone. And so this is the trap which you can find yourself in. And the trap, I would estimate that probably 90% of the people in the United States is caught up in some type of credit card trap. I mean, real serious. I got caught up in it, and I'm not the type of person be running to the mall every weekend or running to the mall every time I get a check. And there are some parents who have taught their children about credit cards, or some parents who have taught their children about money. And those people who understand money, some of those people have still gotten caught into the credit card trap. So anyway, these are things that you need to know, and these are things that your teenagers need to know so that they don't get caught up into it. And now what is happening with the credit cards is this. So you got to build a credit history. And so what some people were doing, they will get a credit card and they'll just pay the balance off every month. Or there may be some times that they may not have used a credit card. Well, what some credit card companies would do, they're like, oh, okay, since people are doing this now, we're going to charge you even if you don't use your credit card. Did you hear what I said? Some credit card companies will charge you even if you do not use your credit card. That's crazy, isn't it? So you're going to get charged for using your credit card, and you're going to get charged for not using your credit card. And so some of the things that I do suggest is this, is that since you do have to build a credit history, one of the main things I suggest that you do is you go get a credit card, and you get a credit card that does not charge you if you do not use it. That's number one. Number two, get a credit card that's really no more than $300. If you get a credit card and they say, we'll give you $500, you call them, you see them, see if they can drop it down to $300. And don't spend no more than $300. Make sure that the limit is set at $300, that you cannot accidentally spend over that and then they still charge you. Set the limit at $300, get you a credit card that does not charge you even if you don't use it, and you can build your history that way. And then you buy something on the credit card and then pay it off at the end of the month. Buy something on the credit card, pay it off at the end of the month. And only use that credit card really mainly for emergencies or every now and then just to try to build your credit history. So that does away with okay, you're trying to build a credit history. All right. So that's what you should do in the future. I personally feel that you should not have no more than one credit card, and it should be set at the limit. And I would say the limit is at least $300, and that's it. What is the result of being with somebody who is in a lot of credit card debt? Part of the result of being with somebody who is in a lot of credit card debt is that other person, especially if it's somebody that you're in a long-term relationship with, that person may look at you to help them to pay their credit card debt off. As I was dating different people, one lady was in $30,000 of credit card debt. Did you hear what I said? $30,000 in credit card debt. When I found out about she was in $30,000 worth of credit card debt, I told her, I said, hey, if you and I get married, you're going to pay this $30,000 down to $10,000. And she looked at me like I was crazy, like it was going to be my responsibility to pay off her $30,000 worth of debt. Is it really beneficial for you to date somebody that's in a whole lot of credit card debt? A lot of cases it's going to be no, because they're going to be expecting you to pay it, whether it's male or female. You have a lot of women that have good paying jobs now. So you might, ladies, you might run into a guy that's in a lot of credit card debt. And he might want you, especially if it's a long-term relationship, he might want you to help him pay down his credit card debt. There was another person I dated that was in $50,000 worth of debt. I said $50,000 worth of debt. Now, the person that was in $50,000 worth of debt had been married, and she had told me that she had went bankrupt. When she went bankrupt, she went through a bankruptcy, which eliminated the $50,000 in credit card debt. After the $50,000 worth of her credit card debt was eliminated through the bankruptcy, she turned around and ran the credit cards back up to $50,000 all over again. So really and truly, she actually was in $100,000 of credit card debt. That is absolutely ridiculous. What do you think that woman's going to expect somebody to do that's dating her? She's going to be expecting that man to pay that debt off. Matter of fact, that particular individual, that woman, she wanted me to help her pay off her $50,000 in credit card debt. I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, right. If you are in credit card debt right now, let's get into some of the solutions. I already discussed one of the solutions in reference to credit cards. Get rid of all your credit cards if you can. Get them all down to one credit card if you can. And then use every resource as possible to focus your attention on paying that particular credit card off. Get rid of all your other credit cards. See if they can take the balances from the other credit cards and move it to one credit card. That's number one. And then focus your attention on trying to pay that credit card off as much as possible. Okay, now you have to use a little bit of common sense. What is the common sense I'm talking about? You are not going to be able to pay a large debt off if you're still spending a lot of money. What do I mean by that? You cannot be hanging out at the club, because that's going to cost some money. You cannot be spending all your money at the hair salon and you're getting your nails done every week. You're going to have to cut back. You're going to have to cut back on a lot of things. You may have to start doing your nails your own self. You may have to start doing your hair your own self. Matter of fact, it's going to save you a whole lot of money if you do your own hair your own self and go the natural route. You're going to save yourself a whole lot of money in the hair process itself, because you're not going to somebody, you're taking care of it for yourself. Go natural. Most men want women who are natural anyway. So anyway, most men do. Most men don't want a woman with 3 inches of makeup on their face. Cut all that stuff out. You don't need it. Don't be going out to eat lunch all the time. You don't need it. Start cooking your food. Men and women, if you're trying to get yourself out of debt, you can't be going out every day eating lunch, paying for lunch. You can't be going out to dinner every other day or once a week. You need to cut all that stuff off. You need to eliminate all of the unnecessary spending that you need to eliminate, because you need that extra money goes towards paying more money on that credit card that you had all the other credit cards put on one credit card. Most ladies have too many clothes to begin with anyway. So why are you still going to spend money when it's not necessarily to spend money for clothes when you already got enough clothes? You're going to have to cut all them extra spending out if you want to be able to eliminate your debt. And you take the extra money that you've been saving and you put it towards the debt to eliminate the credit card debt. Well, these are some of the solutions. Please like, please share, please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.